Welcome, Rotarians, again, Rochester Rotary, February 23rd meeting. My name is Ron Lichtenau. I serve as your club president. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Goodwill and better friendships, beneficial to all concerned.
Will be fun for all.
Everybody take a seat.
Yeah, will it be fun?
We're going to have David Erdley come up and say our invocation, and we want to remember Ray Dorr. Today he had to skip a meeting and take his wife to the hospital.
What?
Is Ray in the meeting today?
But he's here today.
Here on Zoom.
He is here.
Yes, I am. We just got home about 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to go to the hospital. Is your wife okay?
Yeah, just to change the medication.
Well, that was a scare this morning when I heard it.
Yeah.
David Erdley.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon, everyone. As I begin the prayer, I just want to say first, happy birthday, Rotary. The Rotary is celebrating 116 years today. As you know, Rotary began in Chicago. As part of the anniversary celebration, they're inviting us to support the Polio Plus Fund. So if you have an opportunity today to make a donation, know that that fund will go to help with the complete eradication of polio. As you know, as Rotarians, we're this close to ending that scourge in our world. And so any support that you can offer to help with polio and to eliminate polio will be greatly appreciated. So let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you that on this day, February 23rd, we celebrate the 116th anniversary of the beginning of Rotary. And we think about the way in which Rotary has transformed this world through its work, through its diversity, through its welcome of clubs around the world. We are reminded that we are a world club, that we are Rotarians connected by a common desire to serve others, to help make a difference. We give thanks for the Rotary clubs that are responding to the needs in Texas, to those in our nation, and any concern and challenge that we are facing around the world. Where there is a need, there are Rotarians responding. So we're grateful for the part that we play here in Rochester in responding to those needs, helping to build a better world. In your name we pray, amen.
Jeff Whitby.
Good afternoon and welcome to the greatest club on earth.
Hi, Jeff.
Don Heavley is a guest today. Don, welcome back to Rochester Rotary. We do like having you here. And then I noticed on Zoom, Linda Lundy is here from Troy.
Linda,
probably a assistant district governor type. But
right.
I think she's from Troy, and if she's not, she's from Zoom. Whatever, which if you take the M off on Zoom, you've got Zoo, and that makes much more sense.
Yeah, I'm from the Troy
governor type. 15th sign-on, that was Harry Riggs. So our mayor let him alone. Happy Bucks. Anybody got any happy bucks?
This is going to be a happy $5. For those of you that don't, I had back in November on my birthday already, and I ended up going to the hospital. I was there for 4 days, and it was a very emotional time for me and my family. All but one of them caught it as well. All of them were different. My wife had a very cold, that was it. My daughter was on that couldn't do anything. My son was fine. I was And at the time, I praised God for my friend and the good doctors. So yesterday, we reached 500,000. It really affected me. And I asked God, why did you save me over all those others? So I would like to ask all of us today to have a moment of silence for those that made it, those that didn't, that we know in some way impacted our lives. So if you join me in a moment of silence, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. God bless all.
I have a Dave. I'm giving $20.
Well, you are a doctor.
I'm a doggy doctor.
Well, as a doctor, always say,
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for all your prayers. As you know, Diane was diagnosed with breast cancer at the beginning of last year, and it's been with COVID and the breast cancer has been kind of a turmoil. But 2 weeks ago, she had surgery. She had chemotherapy first, and then she had surgery 2 weeks ago. And we were expecting, wow, she's going to really be hurting. Well, the next day she was up, and 2 days afterwards, she painted the food pantry in our house. So I knew we were probably in good shape. But yesterday we heard that all margins were clean from her surgery. All her lymph nodes are clean. She's still got another year to go, but we're very pleased, and we do thank you for all your prayers because it does work. This is quite a miracle for us. So thank you.
Mr. DeLittle.
So I have a $20 happy buck as well. So I'm thrilled to hear from Bill that his wife is doing well. And I'm thrilled to hear from David that he and his family are doing well. So I'm happy for both.
Awesome. Anybody else? No member birthdays this week, but we had quite a few club anniversaries. Jerry Gross, 8 years. Steve Ayler, 6 years. Blake McClellan, 2 years. Nick Piotrowski, 1 year, and Bill Wagner, 1 year. So congratulations to members. I don't know if you noticed a rotating slideshow up there at the beginning. That was due from Rachel. I asked Rachel from the board meeting if she could, start putting something together. I just talked to her day before yesterday, and she said, "Oh yeah, I can do that," and boom, it was done. So let's give a hand for Rachel. That lady's unbelievable. Masters raffle. We're going to have that March 16th. What's that, your birthday? Okay. For those of you who haven't seen it on...
We still have tickets to sell for the 2022 year. We've only given out about 60 or so of the tickets. So we have 240 to get in your hands so that we can get sold. So if everybody could help with that, would like to get them out and get that fundraiser done. Remember, the club will make about 15,000 at the end of the day if we sell all 300 tickets. So it does work out well if we can just get that done. Thank you.
Tim was pushing tickets for the 2022.
They go 2022. They go with the other people.
And if you're really old like me, is there a refund to our spouse?
No, you can take somebody else.
We won't tax you until 2022.
I'm gonna keep talking about this. I started a fundraiser myself. I call it the Ron Lichtel 70th birthday wish fundraiser. And basically it's on Facebook. I tell a little story about what happened to me personally and why I give back. But it's for 10 education funds. So if you take a look at it, I appreciate it. Coming up in April. Oh yes, Rachel says share it. Great Centers of Hope. Coming up in April, Rachel's looking for some help on that. We got the spring cleanup in April at the Rotary Park. Rotary Park garage sale will be in May. I'm still looking for everyone. Basically, this is from Bill Evinger. He's looking for everyone to do one of a couple things, either help on the committee, come and help at the park, or donate something. He wants 100% participation, and I can't blame him. We should.
I just want to say, doing this garage sale, this is going to offset the cost of doing the park, because the way we support the park is through brick sales, and obviously with last year and what's going on this year, that's going to be down. So we're looking for that. But so far we've had 20 people out of our club kind of sign up. Well, I'm not so worried about getting people to help with it. I just want to get people involved to bring things that we can sell. And so if you can help us out in that respect, please let us know so we can get that count up to about at least 50 to 60 members. And then, to run it, we'll need about 5 or 10 people maybe to run the whole thing. And,
I'll be there.
okay. And then, as we go over the next 2 months getting ready for it, it's May the 1st, it's a Saturday, 8 to maybe 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll need some help to set it up that day. And then we'll need some help maybe for storage. I'm going to open one of my garage areas to store a lot of the stuff. And if somebody else has something similar, we'd like to be able to do that. And then we'll retrieve it that weekend. Get it out of your garage. So
Could we have earlier days to bring it to you?
Yeah,
Maybe
oh,
set
yeah.
days so
if
that
we
we're all
decide-
volunteering?
if we decide to do this, let's start bringing it as you can bring it in now, or give me a call if you have something large you want to donate. I can pick it up. I have a truck, trailer, and that type of thing.
I'll pick things up as well.
And so we can do that. But I think this is really a major way to get our club back into service again after this COVID thing. So we're looking for more participation, not necessarily helping with it, but bringing donations in. That's where we need our help. Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, Bill. Thank you, Bill. That's going to be a good one.
Those of you don't know, Bill is kind of stepping back from the park, and I've been working with him. I'm going to end up taking it over. So I will be involved in the brick sales myself, along with anybody else that wants to help, and definitely in the garage sale. Got a book drive coming up in June. We have a possible wine tasting in June. We're working on that one. Tim Duncan is going to put together a July, August outing at Jimmy John's. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. They're not in stone yet. We're just starting to get people in line to start. We also have
Will be posted on that presentation when you walk in. As soon as when you came in pictures playing, there will be those dates every time. What do you mean?
And on the website too.
Ethan has
volunteered to take control of the golf outing for this year. I gave him a choice. He's a young buck. I gave him a choice. He could have the golf outing or the golf ball drop. He's going to head it up, and Shirley Frank, I'm sure, will help mentor. And I'm definitely, I'll help you, whatever I can. We'll look at doing some poll sponsors. If I can help in that aspect. I'm sure a bunch of guys here, especially Tim Crawford. And Ron DeLittle is checking out, name of your golf club? Name of your golf club? Great Oaks.
I haven't yet.
Right. So we got some good stuff coming up. Rotarian of the Week. Last week, it went from Christine Haig to Ray Dorr. Ray Dorr, you are here. Ray Dorr?
Ray.
Ray, are you there? We'll come
I'm
back.
here, yes.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Ray Dorr, you were nominated for the Rotarian of the Week last week. Do you have anybody in mind for this week?
Yeah, Steve Schuttenheim. He's always has a good joke for us. So as the sometime sheriff and as our regular head of police in Rochester, he deserves the recognition.
All right.
Thank you so much.
And I want to see that on his desk.
Okay. Brian Barnett, our bearded mayor sheriff today.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. And all of you watching at home. First of all, Ray Dorr, sweet move. Must have got a parking ticket this weekend in Rochester. At home, my favorite sheriff always has a great joke. $10, Ray. I tell you, getting here in person is unique. Nice to see you in here. Although I got to tell you, the first 10 minutes, it felt like, and I mentioned this to my table, I felt like we were seated at the Rochester Brunch House right next to Christine Haig. And while we love Christine Haig, we don't necessarily want to hear everything that she says throughout her lunch. No fine, but just a note. First of all, Dave Walker and Angela Delpup, no fines for you, and you guys both know why. Appreciate you both.
Too much.
We had some snow this past weekend, over the past week. So if you used your shovel or a snow blower, it's $5. If you are joining us, I didn't see if Shirley Frank was on, but if you're joining us from Florida or Arizona or Cancun, it's a $5 Ted Cruz fine. If you had to borrow a shovel or a snowblower, it's $10. You're cheap, get your own. And if you did shovel your neighbors, you're a good Rotarian and no fines for you today. Well done. If you complain to anybody about the city and their snow plowing, it's $500. Average fine. Spring is coming, though. We don't want to settle and talk too much about the snow. Pitchers and catchers have reported. Anybody know when the Tigers' first spring training game is? Sunday. Baseball starts on Sunday. So we're getting close. If you love the Tigers, it's $5. If you don't, you're a terrible person, and it's $20. Tiger fan, this is the year. This is definitely the year. No, it's not. Let me just say it is. This should get 90% of you. If you are younger than Betty White, it's $5. If you're upset about Kim and Kanye splitting, it's $5. If you heard the news and upon hearing the news, you quietly whisper to yourself, so you're saying there's a chance, it's a $5 Peter Stuhlreier fine. I see you, Pete. Stock market's made a lot of noise lately. How many of you in the stock market? All y'all are, you know that. If you have ever told someone to buy a stock that you don't currently have, that's $5. If you've ever bought a penny stock, that's $1, a little bit lower fine. You're a little bit lower class there. If you've owned any GameStop or AMC, it's $5. If your name is Steve Cooper, it's 100. And if you're related to Steve Cooper, it's 10. So we'll see if we can get the people that really know how to work the stock market. Today is World Compliment Day. That's a fact. I think you all you all look nice. And when I say all you all, I mean Rachel. We want to make sure that we recognize people on World Compliment Day. We want to thank the people that prepared this room, thank the people that made our food, thank the people in the back who are managing our technology so we can be joined by folks online. And I will give you one moment to say one compliment at the table right now while you have a moment. Go ahead, share a compliment with someone. It's very, very quiet where Phil Lohman is. This past week, there's some big news in NASA, right? We landed on Mars, and I'll read you something that's kind of cool. NASA made an announcement this week announcing 3 ladies who are now directing their flight operations for the first time ever at NASA. One woman, her name is Fiona Tourette, and her current job title is she is the flight director as effective this month, leading human space flight operations for International Space Station missions and our return to the moon through Artemis. Fiona graduated from Rochester High School and is from Rochester Hills, so pretty cool to have her. I'll take all the credit for that. I'm sure I wasn't there. But you know, it is kind of crazy to think about it. We landed on Mars. I mean, that is really pretty ironic to think this thing moving in the sky 1 billion miles away. We could find something and land on it. Some of you, maybe by raising your hands, could tell us and remember what it was like when we landed on the moon. How many of you remember that? A few of you? Okay. Keep your hands raised for those who don't remember Kitty Hawk. Anybody? A couple of you there for Kitty Hawk? I know a few of you. You know, it's interesting though. I know a lot of you had different things that you were happy about and different things you were thinking about when you heard that we'd landed on Mars. And I know some of you contacted me and I wrote some of these down. I know that Tom Nouveau and Jeff Whitby immediately started angling for the real estate listings, which I always looking for. Our president, Ron Lichtel, he started working on a landscaping bid, certainly including snow removal. So smart, always pushing your business. Phil Lohman was hoping for signs of super hot Martian life. That works out. Andrea Walker saw the bland landscape and knew right away they were going to need some publicity to help really build that tourist business. So she started working on a bid. John Gaber looked at the footage and quietly said, "I'm probably the smartest guy there too." John Modetz wasn't so interested in finding life on Mars. He was more interested in finding death and whether or not the ground was easy to dig. So we all have different things we're looking for. Russ Shelton looked at the pictures, desolate, no people, no activity, and said, "Hey, this reminds me of Oakland Township." Eastman saw the footage and immediately made plans for romantic couples getaway. They really are the cutest, worst couple ever. Maria Willett and Kyle Johnson looked at each other, stared each other down, and immediately began drawing up plans for planet domination. And finally, David Archibald. He doesn't know we landed there yet. He's always a little bit behind. So somebody tell him a little bit later today. Hey, everybody, if you didn't get fined, put $5 down. Good to see everybody again. Happy Rotary Day.
You always do a good job. Well, yeah, there's a competition there with Steve Shettenham. All right, Tim Duncan, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you see me and hear me?
Would you like to introduce our speaker today?
Sure, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. It'd probably be pretty quick. Can you hear me there?
Yep.
All right, good deal. Good afternoon, Rotarians. Today it is my pleasure to yet again introduce one of our own, City of Rochester's Chief of Police, Steve Shettenham. Steve was appointed to the position of Chief of Police in November of 2007. Came to Rochester after serving with the Birmingham Police Department for 25 years. He completed his career there as the commander in charge of the patrol divisions. He holds a master's degree from Central Michigan University and is a graduate of the 184th session of the FBI National Academy. He has been a resident of the Rochester area for 38 years and is married to his wife, Jenny, a lifelong resident of Rochester. Rotarians, please join me in welcoming Steve Shettenham.
Hi, all. Can you see the screen share there?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good start. Anytime we're Zooming these days, if we can make the technology work, that certainly helps a lot. So when Tim asked me about speaking, the first question is, well, what are we going to talk about? And he, of course, gives that very helpful suggestion of, well, whatever you want to talk about. We did talk about the virus because that's what everybody wants to talk about these days. We kind of added that onto the list of things to talk about. And so, I kind of titled it How I Spent My Summer Vacation. So we could kind of talk about everything that we did last summer here at the police department and kind of the highlights of what happened and kind of how we responded to things. So when he said something about COVID, that's, we obviously spent a lot of time kind of being the community resource for the ever-changing orders that came out of the health division. And so we would get those. It seemed like the governor would speak on TV. She would get done, hang up the phone, and then my phone would start ringing with questions from business people and others that wanted to know kind of how those things work. So we spent a lot of time reading and interpreting and trying to help people the best we could to kind of work, I guess, within or around in some cases, but try to work within the rules to keep people safe and to follow those directions the best we could. One of the other things that happened kind of early in the spring there was dealing with the protests that we had, and I prefer to call them kind of peaceful marches. It was very gratifying to see mainly the youth of our community step out and talk about this important issue, like race relations and police interaction and that sort of thing. So we helped to organize 4 very well attended marches that happened in downtown Rochester over 3 days. And as I said, I was very proud of not only those that participated, but certainly our officers that stepped up and helped out. And, one of the great things was the picture there on the right was after the one gathering, our guys were down there playing football with the guys and certainly interacting with the people down there. The officer has the football in his hand. He looked at me, he goes, "I'm going down there and I'm going to get that football." And so, it's all part of being part of the community. And, he certainly took that to heart as something that he wanted to do to show that we were, we're all one group trying to make the city a better place. One of the things that we did is we made these signs up and displayed them around our station, and all our officers signed those. And I think, there's a couple of things to look at here. One was not only but what was on there, but certainly reminding our officers of the responsibility that they have to live these messages that are on these signs. We took some hits for this. People thought we didn't have to kowtow to people, and I don't think that's at all what we were doing. But and we had people that challenge us to live those things, which I think we demonstrate, in our community and our relationships with our community has been overwhelmingly positive. So, but I thought it was important that these are words and things that we can stand behind, and having our officers sign it, I think just kind of brings that home as well. One of the other things that came about was the president granted an executive order that asked police departments that wanted to be in line to ever receive federal funding for anything and grant funding and that sort of thing, was to have their use of force policies reviewed and make sure that they met certain criteria. One is that they had to be such that they didn't violate any state, federal, or local laws, and that they prohibited chokeholds. And then there was another discretionary part of that where these other items were important, that there was an item in there that deals with termination of force and when that it has to end when someone is under control. Important that our officers have a duty to intervene. So that was the thing that went wrong in Minneapolis, where those other officers stood by and didn't interact to protect individual there, that we were going to require to provide appropriate medical care. and, that our hiring practices are sound and thorough to make sure that we're doing proper background checks. The important thing of this is our policies did not have to be changed in any way to meet any of these standards. These have been longstanding policies in the Rochester Police Department and in most police departments, in fact. So all we had to do was to sign the form, attest to these, send in our policies just as they were, and they were quickly approved and certified so that we met these standards, which I think it's certainly a testament to the officers and longstanding practice this year. We still had our school officers that were busy and supporting our students even in the summer, and then into the start of the school year now. They've been involved with the distance learning that was going on and making sure that technology was out to the students. Would often look in the back of one of the school officers' cars, and it looked like she worked for Dell or Best Buy because it was full of computers all the time, going out and swapping out computers and technology. They would do welfare checks. So, if a student wasn't signing in for their online classes, they would go out, make sure everything's okay, see if they need any other assistance. And, probably just as important as anything else is supporting the fun of kids, being out there. And as you can see on the right-hand side, kind of an impromptu gathering of music and fun for the kids. And yes, we Zoom here at the police department, just like everybody else. I know we're kind of getting zoomed out, but we have meetings after meetings after meetings that are all occurring on Zoom or Microsoft Teams, Google, whatever. We've done Zoom readings for schools to be part of the curriculum where we read to the younger kids. We've done a couple of Zoom scout meetings. I know we've got one coming up. Tim Duncan, we're going to do. And ironically enough, our officers appear in court now by Zoom. So they come here to the station and sign in, and the judge is where they're at, and the defendant is wherever they are, and we're able to conduct court by Zoom. So technology is everywhere, and just like everybody else, we're kind of reinventing different ways to get this job done. This summer, we were out with doing our birthday club runs. And so particularly when we were really on lockdown, we were out driving by with the police and the fire department to kind of wish people, kids a happy birthday. And so we gave them a little bag with some treats in it and trinkets and stuff, and a birthday card that was signed by the officers. New this year, we were out late in the summer with the ice cream truck. So we took actually it's the ice cream that we started out using the ice cream from Stony Creek High School because of school being closed, it wasn't going to be used. And then we went through that pretty quick. And so then we started buying ice cream. We put that in the back of the ETV, and we would drive around and hand out ice cream to all the kids that we found. So we tried to pick out a number of different neighborhood each time we'd go out. And it was funny because that was the first thing the kids would ask is, well, what does it cost? I said, it's free. How can it be free? So it was great to see. The one on the lower end, lower left-hand side there, we actually stopped by a visit with some therapy dogs and some special needs kids. It's probably one of the best visits that we had. And it was great seeing both the kids and some of those dogs eating some ice cream that day. So it was great fun for sure. We also tried to, things are tough this year, and we tried to share some positive messages that were downtown with the Downtown Development Authority. And so we took the pictures of these, posted them on our Facebook page, and tried to make sure that people could be happy and realize that they could be stronger together and that sort of thing. So we tried to again spin a positive message wherever we could. In November, we had Movember Men's Cancer Awareness. So if you saw some bearded police officers, they were out there, and we raised money by those that chose, and some of us, like myself, who donated like they would have had a beard, but decided not to keep shaving for whatever reason. But anyway, the officers that were involved in this project donated money, and we donated that to the New Day Foundation to support families that are struggling with cancer. And so it was great to see it was great to see that they donate the money. Some of the beards were a little less than satisfying. So, but now the one that we, certainly on the far right there, Officer Dramer, one of our school officers, really did outdo herself. There's no question about it. So she probably had the record for the longest beard. So just like everybody else, we wanted to get into TikTok and be like all the cool kids. And so this was something that we put together when we had our signs up. So, I mean, if I take anything from what we did this year is police work is much more than catching bad guys and stopping cars that are speeding on the streets. And I think to a man or a woman that works here, we take that to heart. And so I guess that's what I wanted to do today is try to kind of demonstrate to you that commitment that we have of being one with our community and trying to make sure that we're putting our best face forward and understand the responsibility that we have to be good members and good stewards of the community. So I certainly, if anybody has any questions, I'll be trying to answer those and appreciate your listening.
Anybody got any questions for Steve?
Steve, I want to thank you for that presentation. And I just wanted to thank you just for the support of the police department during those marches last summer. I remember having a chance to walk with you on one of those days. And I was so proud of the response of the community and the response of the police department. I felt like we started to become a stronger community as that began. And I hope that continues. But I just wanted to thank you personally for what that meant to me. And I know a number of our church members that were involved in that. Just the way in which you worked with those community groups and the groups that organized the marches, and just it really struck a positive chord within high school students, our younger generations in the community. And I'm just so grateful for your leadership. I think you helped set a tone that just helped that become an even better experience for those that marched, but also for our community moving forward.
Well, I know we had a lot of community members that were very nervous about what was going to happen, and I certainly had a lot of confidence not only in the people but of the planning that went into those, and that we have good people here. Things are going to be fine, and I think it was an important message to get out, and I think it was certainly our responsibility to help get it out. So I was very proud of everybody that would participate in that.
Anybody else? David.
I just guess I'd like to echo that, Steve. I think a lot of people in the Detroit area remembered the riots in '67 and what a disaster that was for not only the communities that burned, but the rest of Detroit. And that shortly after that, there was a great influx to leave the city, and that could have happened again because it happened in other communities, but certainly in Rochester and the Detroit metro area, the cameras didn't have anything to film except for good news here.
Right.
And I think that speaks a lot to all the law enforcement people in the Detroit metro area. So please pass that along to other police departments.
Thank you.
And also, I think Mayor helped out in that. Isn't that right, Brian Barnett? Any other comments, questions, anything coming up? We got a lot going on. Again, remember the garage sale we're gonna have coming up. We're looking for donations for that. And help on the different events. So anything else before we close out?